Welcome back, my peeps. Welcome back to the party. Look at me. I'm so tired. I slept not enough hours. We're doing this. We're doing this. So what is this? We're learning C++. We're learning how to do good things in C++. So I do have a plan for learning C++. We're gonna recap it very quick for you. Alright. Oh, my eyes. So the plan is as follows. First, what we want to do is learn syntax. We're gonna do this from W Free School, right here. It has many different languages that you can try for yourself to learn some syntaxes. There's some exercises that you can do, and W Free School even offers certification possibilities to get certified. Number two, after we learn the syntax and try the language a little bit, we need to learn how to apply it practically. To do that, we're gonna use exercism.org in order to do a bunch of projects. Yeah. After that, already will be good enough with the language that we can take on challenges. We're gonna use Codecrafters to use challenges, and this is a very amazing site. Just you can build a lot of different things from HTTP servers, shell, your own shell. You can build interpreters and Git, Reddit, Git. Where's Git? There we go, Git. I put emphasis on it because I feel like it's very important to know how Git works. And to do that, the best way is to actually learn it. And lastly, we're gonna test ourselves with HackRankers. They have a lot of ways to test. There's a lot of challenges. Okay, and after we do all of these, ta-da! We've learned a practical skill. Do you have to go this route in order to learn C++ or any programming language? No, you don't actually. I think that just going on to exorcism and going through these is good enough. And it really depends on what is good enough, depends on What you wanna make? Now, what we are gonna do after we learned it is we're gonna build a gaming engine. For no other reason, just for knowing how to do it. Still, I'm not sure if you need all of this complicated process, but whatever. So, what did we do last time? Last time we started with we finished with a switch loop. A loop, a switch statement. Just a quick reminder, this is how switch works. It's quite simplistic. There is some sort of an expression that outputs a number, and then the switch itself will turn the case in, will match, you know, the number of the cases essentially, and run that specific case that has that number. It does not work with strings. I tried. If there is math, the associated block of code is executed. The break and default key options are optional and will be described later in the chapter. So, a default keyword will print if it doesn't fit into these cases, the argument. In that case, the expression. In that case, it will go to default by default. If you don't put break here, then it will execute the second, which is kind of useful. Let's say you want to create something that executes some amount of lines, but how many lines it will execute will depend on, let's say, I don't know, like the order. You have some sort of a number of lines that you want to execute, and it executes those lines. Let's say that you want to execute 3 lines in order to print Friday, Saturday, and Friday. You input 5 here, and and you make sure to delete breaks here. Then what will happen is we'll go to 5, print Friday, then print Saturday, then print Sunday. You can actually test it. I delete default. Just copy, I don't know, like maybe 3. I feel like 3 is enough. I don't need a lot. 3. And then we're gonna input 2. Oh shoot, my bad. It's the break. To delete the break, if we run it, see, it says works. If we make this spray, I'll only do it once. Why would you want it? I don't know. I mean, you could use a loop, so there's really no reason to use it, but you know, you can if you want to. So, the next is while loops. Oh, while loops are fun. What is the purpose of while loop in C? To repeat a block of code as long as the condition is true. That is a correct answer. Print I as long as I is less than 6. So, a while loop is done by while. Right, while, which is its trigger, then is the condition, y is less than 6, then in squarely parentheses, you just print out whatever you want. But here's the thing, if you don't put this y++, then this condition will run forever. And the reason is because it wouldn't update. Why would an update and it would forever be less than 6? Let's try it. Let's try to crash my computer in an infinite while loop. Wait. How did that happen? My bad. Why is there no parentheses? This makes some sense. Okay, so now we're gonna count shit, right? It will make sense in a while, and we're not gonna put the y++. I forgot to declare y. Int y equals I don't know, like 1. Oh, here's a quick note. If you put variables here, they are global. That means any function can use it. In fact, any non-function, meaning anything that is using include and this specific script, not script, page, whatever, I don't know how it's called, will also have access to these variables. It's called public variables. Here, we put it specifically inside of the main block. You can also do it inside of a function block, but this is called the private. I think it's called private. I'm not entirely sure actually. Public variable. What else is wrong? Oh, yeah. There you go. Now that is a lot of shit. Why are you giving me so much shit? But if you put y++, which what it does is it increases y, which is 1, by 1 every time it comes here. Since it's a loop, it will execute this line, then it will come to I++, then it will check if I is still less than 6, and if it is, then it will execute this line again, then it's gonna execute this line again, then it's gonna do the same process, check, execute, execute, and it will keep doing it till y is more or equal 6. There you go. Shit. So yeah, simple. Next, a while loop will stop running once the condition is false. True. Next, what will be the output of this code? 1 0 1 2. This one. Well, the reason is simple. Y is equal to 0. And my code is equal 1. How would you describe the following loop? Countdown from 5 to 1. Yeah. Runs forever. No, it's a countdown. Just an opposite scenario. Do while loops. Ooh, these are very interesting. What is the key difference between do while loop and a while loop? A do while loop will execute the code block at least once, even if the condition is false. That's exactly it. That's what it does. It executes a loop even if the condition is false. So it executes a condition and then it continues if rinse y something. Thank you for joining the stream and giving me a view, but I don't want it.
You have something that's going on in your life right now that's challenging, painful.
Oh, deleted.
Just a reminder to take a little bit better care of yourself. You're worth it. You can have this feeling anytime you choose.
Nice. The major difference is where you write the while. Oh, hello. I think I can benefit. No, thank you. Thank you for the follow. That's very nice, but I'm not the first one who wanted something in return. But hey, keep keep following. The more follows you give, the better. I'm sorry, I'm looking at my videos and I realized that it's very obvious why my shorts aren't really doing so well. I'll need to change my strategies. Alright. So the major difference is where the while loop is written. So standard while loop will be written right here at the front, and it will check the condition right away. For a do loop, do while loop, it will first do, that's why it has the do sign, and then it will execute this one line of code. Then it will check the condition and execute the while loop. So in this case, if it's 1, it's gonna print out the number 1, and then it will increase it, and it's gonna be 2, and then it's gonna keep going and going and going until it's 5, until it's 6 or more. 6 or less? No, 6 or more. What will be the output of this code? 3. Alright, so this is gonna be 3. What happens if the variable in do while condition is not increased? The loop will run forever infinitely. No. Well, actually depends. Is the condition true? If it is true, then it will run forever. For loops, these are awesome. When is a for loop preferred over while loop? When you know exactly how many times you want to loop. When the loop should run indefinitely. No, the condition changed unpredictably. Maybe. When only one iteration is needed. Okay, so for loop is interesting because it consists of 3 statements. So the first statement is the variable that it's gonna track. So every 4. Oh look, it's explained. 1 time before the execution of the code block. Okay, and that is good. What it does, it will state a variable, like here, right? The same variable. Then it will use that variable, so a condition, and then it will do something with that condition. So it doesn't have to be I++, it can be anything. You can put any kind of other condition. But the point is that it will execute something. And it's executed every time after the code block has been executed. Yeah. So this one is the only condition. Now, I'm not sure, but could you use statement 1 and statement 2 to do something else. Not sure why you want to, but could you if you wanted to. Statement 1 sets the variable before a loop starts. Define the condition to run the loop. If it's true, the loop will start over again. If it's false, the loop will end. Statement 3 increases a value each time the code block in the loop has been executed. You can see that you can use different kinds of ways to increase it. You can even use a formula. Simple. Countdown. This example prints a countdown from 5 to 1. That's it. That's basically for loop. Then we have nested loops. It's when you have one for loop inside of another for loop. This is very useful. For, I don't know, many applications, I guess. Use a for loop to print yes 5 times. Well, that's easy. This, most of the job is already done for me. Why? Oh, sorry. No. Yes. There you go. That's it. It's gonna print 5 times. Yes. What happens in statement 1? For loop defines a condition. No, executes every time. What is happening in statement 1? An infinite loop is executed every time after the code has been executed once before the loop starts. Okay, what will be the output of this code? What do we have? 0, plus plus, and less than 3. That means it will be 0, 1, 2, 3 because the counting starts from 0. What is a nested loop? So a nested loop is a loop inside of another loop. That's it. Very simple. How many times will inner loop execute in the following code? Inner loop will execute 3 times. No, this is 1, so 2 times. Alright, 2 times, but this repeats also 2 times. No, wait. Yeah, 2 times. This repeats 3 times. And 3 times 2 is 6. So 6 times total. Simple. In a nested loop, the outer loop completely completes all its iterations before the inner loop. False. The outer loop does not complete all its iterations before the inner loop. Because the outer loop cannot complete all its iterations until the inner loop completes, and then it can go on to the next iteration. Then the inner loop completes fully again, and so on and so forth. So it's false. What will be the output of this code? Well, let me see. It starts from 1, goes up to 3, and it's less than or equal 3. So times what? Okay. It starts from 1 and it goes up to 2. That means it's gonna be 1, 2, 3, like so. Then it will loop again. The I is gonna be 2, and it's gonna time it 2, 4, 6, 2 times. Times 2, so 1 times 2, 2, 2 times 2, 4, and 6. So this one is the correct answer. Then we have nested loops. It is also possible to place a loop inside another loop. This is called a nested loop. Inner loopy, loopy loopy loop. Yeah, that's it. That's basically that. That is it. Now we have the for each loop. What will be the output of the following code? I have no idea. I've never seen this type of a loop before, so this is new to me. This is also for a for each loop, also known as range base for loop, which is used to loop through elements in an array and other data structures. For type variable, code block to be executed. Okay, type, variable name, and array name. Type makes sense, so it's basically variable type. Variable name is just the name. Array name, so this is the array or already existing array. The name of already existing array. And what it does, it sets y as an integer and then uses that array and scrolls through all of these, of which there are 5. Well, this looks like a simpler way to do it. This works because string is just a array of a character type. So don't worry if you don't understand the example, but if you learn more about arrays in the specific right. Now I actually understood it. It's quite more simplistic than I had previously thought, and it's quite useful in some cases, I guess. It will print 10, 20, and 30. You can use a for each loop to loop through elements in a switch statement. No. Why? What kind of question is that? Fill in the blanks to print the elements of my number. A little practice. So let's see. It's a number, so in it, and you put the. How do you call it? Like, this has to have some sort of a name. Oh, I don't know how it's called. Easy peasy. What does the break statement do in a loop? It exits the loop immediately. Simple. Oh shoot. No? Yeah, okay. Real life examples. So this is basically counts from 0 to 10. This prints even numbers between 0 and 10 inclusively. It basically prints every other number. We print odd numbers. You only print odd numbers, it still prints every other number, but every other number starting from 1 is an odd number. Every other number starting from 0 is wait, what's it called? Even number. We print power of 2 up to 215. Okay. Now that makes sense, because you start with a 2, and then you times it with 2 every single time. Power of 2. The power of 2! In this example, we program and print multiplication table for a specific number. Prints the multiplication for number x is, well, it starts from 1, so 1 equals number dot y. Number is 2. Nah, okay. That's why it's a multiplication table. It's not really a multiplication table. It's more like multiplication list. Because it lists everything. It's definitely not a table. Okay, now break and continue. So we already tried break. In the cases, it breaks the case, for example. Break in a loop will use to jump out of loops. So break loops basically. But we haven't tried continue, and continue statements breaks one iteration in a loop if specified condition occurs, and continues with the next iteration in the loop. Okay, so continue will break one if I equals 4, you break it. You continue, it will continue forever. Not forever, but it will skip this line basically. It will increase the I, but it will continue. Meaning that everything else will not print. It will just repeat itself. Yeah, we can try it, but it's pretty obvious. So if it's a 4, so there shouldn't be a 4, and there isn't. Continue examples. Wait, what's the difference between these two examples? The only difference is when it's... Okay, this is the break one. So it breaks if you are at 4 and continues. Simple actually, there's nothing more to say about it. Main iteration in loop, false. It only breaks one iteration. Stop the loop if I is equal to 5 and we want to break it. We'll stop the loop. Let's see, in the following loop, when the value is 4, jump directly to the next value. So continue. And that's continue. Erase. Erase. There are a couple of ways to store huge amounts of data. One of the ways is erase. So arrays are used to store multiple values in a single variable, instead of declaring separate variables for each value. Logical. To declare an array, define the variable type, specify the name of the array, followed by a squared bracket, and specify the number of elements it should store. String cars 4, so there will be 4 variables inside of a string variable array. It's kind of funny, isn't it? Because a string is technically an array itself. It's an array inside of an array. And then you basically declare it in squarely brackets. We have now declared a variable to create an array of 3 integers. We would do it like so. If I remember correctly about arrays, because I did it here, this is a different situation. You see, here it's a different situation because char, variable name, and array. You make it an array and it's basically just a string. So this is how you would commit a string inside C. And C++ also has this function because, you know, C++ has a lot of functions from C. It's part of the standard namespace library, I think. I don't know. It technically should be possible. You set an array, set the size of the array, and just keep it like so. And it is. You don't have to declare it right away. But what you do have to know is that if it says 5, there's actually 6 elements, because it starts from a 0. Or maybe I'm wrong, because when you look at this example, this is just confusing. Why put 4 in order to tell the system that there's 4 variables, but start counting from a 0? Like, why? Okay, so apparently there's only 5 variables. Okay, sure, why not? Change an array element. To change the value of the specific element, refer to the index number. Opel. Now outputs Opel number. So basically, if you want to commit something inside of the array, you just revert it to the correct number. So the first over here, the first element is Volvo. You can access this element with a 0. So cars 0 equals Opel. Now this will print Opel. So yeah. What is the output of the following code? It's 2, so it's going to be Angie. Create an array of type string called cars. So it's a integer, not integer, the variable string. We call it cars, and that's it. Easy peasy. Print the value of the second element in the cos array. The string cos, print cos second, so 1, and